Now we're looking back at a tournament that didn't just crown a world champion, but completely transformed women's rugby. The 2025 Women's Rugby World Cup will be remembered not only for its thrilling matches, but for the way it changed the game's profile forever.
So, Rona, let's start with the World Cup and the incredible impact that it had. I mean, what did the tournament sort of show you about how far women's rugby has come in terms of quality and public support, that viewing that it got, and really sort of fulfilled the major tournament that it wanted to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I think England does women's sport really well, which I think put a little bit of expectation on this World Cup. We've been saying for months that it's going to be the biggest one ever, but I think it really even exceeded all of those expectations. Like, the tournament was absolutely fantastic. To finish it with 82,000 at a sold-out Twickenham. The last World Cup, there was 40,000 at the final. The one before that was 20,000. So the growth in women's rugby has really been astronomical. And in all the host cities, I think people really got behind women's rugby. They got behind the Red Roses, but they also just got behind the game. Like, there wasn't a quiet stand throughout the whole tournament. It was so inspiring to be part of, and hopefully for anybody that was there as a spectator as well.
From packed stadiums across England to record-breaking global audiences, this was the moment women's rugby truly went mainstream. Sponsors lined up, broadcasters committed primetime coverage, and young girls everywhere saw heroes who looked just like them, lifting the trophy. I spoke to Scotland's Rona Lloyd, who reflected on how far the sport has come. She told me that this World Cup felt different. It wasn't just a women's tournament, it was the tournament. Adding that the visibility and professionalism have reached a level she could only dream of when she started out.
And obviously the Women's Lions Tour, I mean, that just sort of shows how the game has grown to have that first tour. What's that going to be like for you in terms of the countdown's on? You want to make sure you're in the mix. I mean, that's so exciting to have that sort of target on the horizon.
Yeah, it's massively exciting for everybody playing the game. I think before we had the World Cup every 4 years as these landmark events in women's rugby and opportunities to grow the game, whereas actually now that we're going to have the British and Irish Lions women's tours every 2 years in between, that is going to be incredible in terms of the eyes that we can get on women's rugby. Royal London's investment from the grassroots game right up to the British and Irish Lions is just going to make it an incredible tour to remember. And I think as women's rugby's grown, we need to keep investing in the game from the grassroots and all the way through to the elite level. There's more and more girls playing, so we need to make sure that the facilities are there to make that possible.
And of course, there's Rosie Gallagher, one of the stars of England's triumphant campaign. When I asked what it meant to win at home, she smiled and said, "It's everything. But what matters most is what comes next. More girls playing, more countries investing, and a true belief that this is only the beginning."
And obviously, I mean, how important is it that you guys give back to those who came before you? I mean, generations in women's rugby maybe didn't get the support and help and, viewing figures, etc. than, you guys are now, and you're changing the games. But it's those guys who came before you and really laid that foundation for you to go and be a successful nation.
Yeah, we spoke about in the tournament, for the girls was one of our big mantras, and that slogan was not only for the girls to come, it was for the girls in the room that day and throughout the World Cup, and it was for the pioneers of the game. And we just wanted to make sure that in the World Cup we did everyone proud, and that we inspired the whole generation. It didn't just need to be the little girls, it could be little girls, little boys, adults get into rugby for the first time. And I think everyone has that aspiration to play for the Lions. I think at the minute, the World Cup and being involved in international duty is the highest accolade that you can have in the women's game. But this is just another level. And I think the World Cup success that we've had hopefully can keep generating into 2027. And then that can be a phenomenal tournament in itself.
That sense of legacy runs deep. Schools are reporting record sign-ups, unions are committing new resources, and broadcasters are already planning expanded coverage for future tournaments. The 2025 World Cup didn't just change who lifted the trophy, it changed what's possible for women's rugby, and the world is watching where it goes next.